All right, well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to McLean County Chamber of Commerce's member education for September. My name is Mitch. I'm the programs manager here at the Chamber of Commerce. Today, we'll be focusing on how to market your business on social media and how to create and maintain a presence for your business on social. Our presenter today is Anna Johnson, founder and owner of Bearcat Venture, LLC. I'll turn it over to Anna in just a minute or two here, as I believe she has some exciting news to share with us about some recent changes there. But before we do dive into our topic, I want to recognize our video resource library sponsor for September, Carl Broman Medical Center. By sponsoring our educational programs, the Chamber is able to provide our member eds and town halls to our membership free of charge. All of our member ed and town hall presentations can be found on the video resource library on our website, www.mcleancochamber.org, mcleancochamber.org. Video resource library is found there just under the member resources tab. Make sure to check it out if you haven't. Those joining us live today are doing so either on Zoom or are watching our live stream over on the Chamber Chat Facebook group. For those of you catching this on the video resource library, check out our events calendar to see what upcoming member eds and town halls we have, so you can join us live next time. While our member eds and town halls are free, you do have to register to attend live on Zoom. And just want to say one more thank you to all of our sponsors for the video resource library. All right. Now we'd just like to turn things over to Anna for our presentation today. Please note if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat here on Zoom or Facebook Live. We will get around to those to address at the end as time allows. If we do not have time, we'll make sure to reach back out to you to get those answered. And welcome, Anna. Thank you for joining us. And I guess just to start, I understand there's been some recent changes regarding Bearcat Venture. Anything to share with us?
Yes, actually, I just this week, in time for this event today, rebranded. And my business is now called Napora Park. Napora Park comes from the surname, the last name of the maternal side of my mom's family. There were 4 sisters that survived World War II. One of them was my grandma. They survived a labor camp, outlived extended family. So this is just my nod to say, to remind myself every day that I'm made of tough stuff, and to keep that a little bit alive. So
awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. So anything else, or can I get started? You said you were going to give me a good big sign. Any other?
We will turn it right on over to you whenever you're ready to go.
All right. Okay. So I am Napora Park. I have been doing social media marketing for about 7 years now for different small businesses, and sort of have just freelanced it, Prior to this, my actual career was in medical social work. I did that for a number of years, inner city Chicago, and got out of that, ended up getting my MBA, and I'm ready to really take on marketing. It's always been my draw, I guess, when I look at what I love about business and entrepreneurship is marketing. So I joined the Chamber of Commerce because I'm really looking to dive into other industries. Right now, my niche is actually real estate. I work with different realtors, and I also work with other companies like within the realm of real estate. So I'm looking forward to kind of branching out with my business and doing that. So I do anything from consulting to full service, where I manage your social media and all of your digitals, everything for you, from your website to your social media management. So today we are going to talk about because I kind of, as much as I want to talk about myself and my business, kind of market myself, I also want to really dive in here. Why are we marketing on social media? What platforms are best to use? What are the bare minimums that you really need for your business on social media? What do I post? Who's my target? Which, in order to answer that question, you have to be able to answer who is my target and what are content pillars? And that may be kind of a new concept. I'm going to just kind of keep it as very basic as possible, and how to optimize your return on investment with social media, time versus money, and how to handle negative reviews and just general naughty behavior on social media. I've seen a lot of stuff managing other accounts, and I can tell you this week I've actually seen the craziest thing ever. So like I feel like I've seen it all. But it was something that I wanted to definitely jump into before I talk about social media marketing is that social media marketing cannot replace your personal, one-to-one touches. If you're not picking up the phone, if you are not picking up the phone, right, and making those, generating those leads, building those relationships, social media is nice. It's going to help you brand yourself, but that's not necessarily always where the money is, right? I have to tell, agents that sometimes is if I can be working the best strategy online, but if you're not personally connecting with your clients or those leads, I can't help you there, right? So I definitely come from a generation of, I remember growing up sending handwritten cards and having pen pals, right? And you guys are nodding, right? Because that was such a special form of communication. It was the only form of communication, right? And then we look to like when messenger services started to come out, maybe in high school. I don't know. I don't want to age myself, but then you had GeoCities, and then we had MySpace come out. So, I've always been engaged and love that technology as it's grown through time. But you cannot replace how special it feels, especially now that everything is social and digital, right? And people don't pick up the phone. It makes that one-to-one relationship, those individual touches, sending them a handwritten note in the mail, even more special and memorable for your potential clients. So I stand on either side of that river when it comes to marketing on social media. So like I digress and get off of that soapbox. So fine, I have a couple of soapboxes throughout this. Why are we using social media? Okay, your target audience is there, right? And we're gonna talk a little bit later about how to identify your target audience, because you think right? Oh, it's whoever's got money is who I want. Yes, but we're going to be focusing in even more on that. I'm going to have some questions that will maybe prompt you about how to identify your target audience. Your competition is there, right? You need to be able to at least have a presence so that people know that you exist. I can tell you right now, I've looked at the analytics with different real estate agents, and what I'm finding is that instead of people going to Google to, and I guess I'm skipping ahead a little bit here, instead of using the search in Google, people are instead using the search box in Facebook or in Instagram to look up a business first. They're not necessarily going to Google. So making sure that you're a name that comes up at all is really important, especially in a town where there's so many restaurants, right? There's so many this, that, and the other. You need to have a presence. Another thing is that it is mobile. I don't know how many times I've been running a small business and I've been able to market and come up with content while sitting by a pool on vacation. It's not that I recommend that, but as a small business owner, you know that sometimes work follows you when you try to take a little time off. This is mobile. And I think that's a huge benefit to it. Very low return on investment. We're going to look at the analytics today too, later on. And there's two different terms we're going to talk about: organic growth and paid growth. Okay. Organic growth is simply you just being consistent with posting. Are you taking your own time and growing your community that way? With social media, and because everything is digital, everything is trackable. I know some people have a really strict, oh, Big Brother, oh, Big Brother's watching me kind of a thing. And we don't want to be tracked maybe as consumers, but as a small business owner, it's amazing because these analytics are going to help drive your strategy. They're going to tell you who your target demographic is. Who do you think is your target demographic versus who is really engaging on your page, right? Or with your social media accounts. You're going to track your return a lot better. And instead of, I oftentimes come across business owners who think, or who tell me, no, I'm going to do this because it's really, really important. Well, guess what? Like your client base, your customers don't give a hoot about that, right? Instead, they love this like funny, silly stuff, the times that you show humor instead. So you're not wasting your time on, you're not wasting your time necessarily on what you think is right. You're using that data to show those results.
And I'm so sorry to butt in here for just a second. It might just be me because we're co-hosting here on Zoom. Can you just click the screen share button to turn it off, and once again to turn it back on, or check which screen is sharing there? I'm not seeing the PowerPoint that
Oh, really?
was up just a second ago. Yeah.
Mitch, I don't see one either. It's just a black screen.
Okay. We had it up just a second ago there.
Is it there now?
Not yet. Let me try and take the screen sharing from you, and then just click the screen share again to take it back. Might just be when we transferred over there, but. Oh, share. Okay, can you try it again?
Are you seeing that? No.
No, I just got Anna Johnson that started screen sharing. Do you have multiple screens you're using maybe?
I am, yeah. Let me see where it's hiding at. I'm so sorry about this.
No, you're fine. I'm sure it's in there. We just have to find it.
I know. I'm like, oh, there it is. Wait, I found it. Now I got to find my mouse. There it is. Okay, right. Now you can
Yes, we got it.
Okay, great. Now you see what I'm talking about. As I'm like speeding through everything. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, no, I do have two screens up, and then like you lose your mouse, you know what I'm saying, on some screens. I don't know what's happening. And then you were using your mouse and too, and I'm like, what's happening?
Sorry.
Okay, good. Anyways, so you can see these are the reasons. Take a screenshot of this. This is why we want to use social media. This is what we're also going to kind of continue to talk about. What platforms are best for growing business? It's not okay. What platforms are best? So I'm going to make it really simple. Facebook and Instagram are a great place to start. The reason being is, as a consumer, you've been using these for years, right? Have you been using all of the business features within them? Probably not. You know, I know so many business owners just use their personal profile to market their business. That is not how it's done. Stop doing that. You're gonna hear me refer to this a lot. But anyways, with Facebook, it's the highest number of accounts in the world. Everybody, it's like I said, it's been long-standing. It's been around for a long time. You know how it works. McLean County uses it, right? This is a big thing for me. Our target audience, if you're watching this, your people are on Facebook or Instagram in this area. The age and demographic. So let me look at it from real estate perspective. I want someone who is old enough to have money, old enough to buy a house. Those folks are on Instagram or on Facebook. I'm sorry, they're on Facebook. The other thing that Facebook allows for is long form content. So if you kind of want to tell a story a little bit and not quite do a blog post, but do a little bit of a blog post, that's the place to do it, right? And the analytics are, in my mind, just unbeatable when it comes to really tracking your return. With Instagram, there's actually, if you're doing Facebook and you have a business account set up, a Facebook business page set up, you're able to do one post and send them to both Facebook and Instagram at the same time. So why not, right? Why not set yourself up with a business page on both sides? And then you're crossing over into double the demographic. Instagram has got a younger population. you may be familiar with this concept. Like maybe you kind of know what Instagram's about. It's something that if you spend a little bit more time on the app, maybe you don't know it as much as Facebook or what have you, you're gonna learn pretty easily. Different demographic, like I said, and it's visually and creatively different, which is fun when it comes to creating content for audiences as well. And again, they've got the same analytics, so they mesh together really well. If you were doing something like, if you are a freelancer, if you are trying to personally grow your career, I would say maybe LinkedIn too. It's good to have, again, like a page or a presence there, but these two are where I would want you to focus on. So what about the others? Well, Anna, because you know, what's the latest stuff out there? Here I am, I'm gonna sound like an old lady. TikTok, right? So TikTok's out there, there's Snapchat. You have to look at what's long-standing versus a fad. I don't know if anybody can remember a few years ago, the hot new thing that came out was Vine. And you could watch videos and and then Vine burned out, and here we are with TikTok again. Like, how long is this going to stick around while Facebook and Instagram are consistently there? I can tell you how difficult it is when you try to promote yourself on one of those and then they burn out because it's a fad, right? You've grown this audience and then all of a sudden something happens, your audience is gone. So sticking with, you know, either of these two, I feel that's why I feel pretty confident about them. You can use them. You can go to Snapchat or TikTok and, you know, download what you create there, because they are fun to play with, and share them on Instagram or Facebook. Absolutely. But bring it to where your people are. Your audience is on Facebook or Instagram. Go to where your people are. Don't expect them to follow you to an outside, you know, social media source. Is it worth your time to learn is it worth your time to go and learn all the stuff about a new platform, right? Is it really worth your time to sit there and say, I don't know, let me download the app and I need to hustle to try and grow my business there? No, go to where your people are. That's not the best return on your investment at this point. And is it really where your target audience is at, right? Are you going to be able to send a variety of messages there? Are they, you know, and you can actually, I didn't want to put the statistics in here to take up a ton of time, but you can Google and see how many people actually have accounts with each social media platform, and then make that decision for yourself. Maybe you have, you know, a much younger generation that having a little bit of a presence may make a difference there, but you know, I would say stick to what's there. I actually forgot one of the main features of Facebook and Instagram is that you can schedule posts. If through business accounts on Facebook or Instagram talk about a return on your investment of time, you can sit down and schedule out 2 weeks, a month, 2 months worth of your content in one sitting and not have to, you know, worry about creation. You're just, as those scheduled posts come out, you're just answering comments. You're engaging on the post with your clientele, your audience, and building relationships by doing so, right? And that's easy. You just go in, you check the notification, and it's easy to maintain from there. So, and again, I feel like that's another, like, I'll do a how-to, you give me a call, I'll show you how to do it, but I didn't want to necessarily put all that in today. Any questions or anything? Okay.
Yeah, I would just jump in, just feedback that I get from small business owners and our solopreneurs is on that ROI that you've talked about a couple times there, that they find they don't have the time, or they don't want to have their employees spend their time chasing around on social. Maybe they've tried it and it hasn't worked out for them. Things like scheduled posts are things I wasn't aware of that would really open that up.
Yeah.
I think we all understand you have to have a presence, but being engaged is another level of commitment. Are there other low hanging fruits that people can do and to get engagement, to have a presence on social without checking in 4 or 5 times a day? Is that making a video, pictures, having a series on a
I'm
topic?
gonna get to that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think, and one thing that you had mentioned too is how often do I post? Like, what's my minimum, right?
Mhm.
And the answer to that is consistency. Literally, the answer to that is consistency. If you're gonna post, I would say at a minimum of 3 days a week, right? And remember, if you're posting on Facebook, you can send that post to Instagram as well, same thing. You can schedule it out. So we're talking 12 posts a month, okay? We're talking 12 posts a month at a minimum. If you schedule them out, you're sitting down to do 12 posts. So long as you're having a consistent presence, that's good enough, right? You also, with consistency and more frequency, if you're someone who's really data driven, posting like 5 days a week is going to give you a lot of analytics really quick throughout the month. Do you have time to create that content? And now that you know that you can schedule those posts out, maybe you do have a little bit more time to do, to create a little bit more strategy behind it. If you check in on your social media once a day, right? You can even pick the time of day that you're going to post them. Let's say every day at 10 a.m. is when I'm going to plant my post to be scheduled, right? 10 a.m. Actually, I have a theory. This is what I stick to. What's the first thing people do in the morning? They check their phones, they check their social media. Guilty, right? Guilty. While they're eating breakfast, drinking their coffee. What do you do at lunchtime? You check your phone, you check your social media. What do you do at nighttime? Right? Either sit in front of the TV or right before you go to sleep, you're checking your social media. So plant your post morning, noon, or night, because then they're gonna land right in front of your audience when they're there anyways. I'll go into the analytics and I will show you some screenshots of your business pages. Will show you that data on when your audience is most online. 9 times out of 10, morning, noon, or night. And it's funny because then you can be like, I know you people aren't working during the afternoon. Who's working at 2 p.m.? Nobody, not my audience, right? So then you know what you're working with. So that's my theory. If you have, so let's say that every day at 10 a.m., right, you decide my audience is clearly not working at that time, so I'm going to give them something to look at. If you check in on that post 12 hours later, 10 hours later, right, like in the evening time sometime, that's good. That's good. Give it time, right? Give it time to, I was going to say fester, but that is not a good word. Cook is what I usually use. Give it time to cook on your page, right? And grow, and to have them say something and have that engagement. And then you can check in on it like once a day is great. Or have someone else check in on it, or have it on some sort of a schedule where you have an employee check and then you check, every other day or something like that. That's some easy stuff. It takes 2 minutes to do, to check on that notification. Did that help?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So what are the bare minimums that you must have on your account? Lord have mercy. Please be different than your personal profile. Stop using your personal profile to market your business, right? You are able to, like, I love, posting about my family. I love posting some snarky things. I love that. I sometimes post cuss wordy stuff on my personal profile, right? It gets a little racy over there. Friend me and you're going to see. Okay. But you can't do that. You can't necessarily get away with that when you're trying to look professional, right? When you're trying to grow a professional brand, keep it separate, right? Keep it separate, right, Brooke? You're making that face and it makes me nervous. Okay. You're agreeing with me. Okay. So keep it separate for so many reasons. When I get down to like what naughty things to not do, you're going to understand more there as well. Have professional photos or graphics as you as your professional or as your profile picture in your banner. I know plenty of freelance photographers in this area that will not charge an arm or a leg to go into your business, take some candid shots, you know, and they can be consistent for the year to really represent, you know, what you're doing. Yeah, you can get away with, you know, using some snappy pictures with your iPhone because it's got all the like great features on it. You can create your own graphics with programs like Canva, or with plenty of apps too that you can use. Again, that's a whole nother, like, we'll talk and I can show you how to do that. But consistently having those at least on your graphics or photos on your banner and profile picture are a must. You want that clean look. Your hours of operation are really important. And about me section has to be completed. Actually, Facebook will like not let you move on unless you create that in a business page. Any changes of business due to COVID, you're out, you know, what are your policies right now? Have your hours changed? It was really interesting to watch in last winter, especially as our local restaurants struggled to say, whoa. Yeah, I mean, I kind of had this dead social media page, but now all of a sudden I have to start announcing things to, you know, people and what I'm doing with COVID right now, what we're going to do. I challenge those businesses who are most affected by COVID to come up with your strategy now, right? Because we don't know what we're going to face this winter. But if you have those like canned posts ready, you know what you're going to say. You can even create the graphics right now so that if and when it hits, you're ready. You've got your strategy, your marketing, you're growing your audience. They know where to go. They're looking on your social media page to find this information out. Am I doing a drive and pickup today or what? Right? You don't want to have, this is one thing that's so easy. You can do ahead of time. You don't have to worry about it then because you'll be prepared. But I'm like, again, I plan ahead like that. I can't. I just encourage that now. Your website, you definitely want that if you've got it, especially again, like if you have other, you know, I don't know, it's just a great way to link back to your website. Never mind, I was going to go off on a little tangent. Your contact info and your location. Again, people are not going to Google anymore to try and find where and when you're at, and if you're open and if you're not, they're going to Facebook or Instagram to see where you're at. Not that you shouldn't have a presence on Google anyways, please do that too, but be aware that this is also where people are going. Any questions? Nope, okay. What do I post? What do I post? I'm going to try and talk like as generally as I can. I'm going to ask questions to help you think about how this applies to you. Okay. Identifying your target audience. So what do I post? I'm going to ask, like I said, a ton of questions because it does come down to strategy, right? At the end of the day, stop being spontaneous and posting things on social media, right? Return on investment, have a strategy, plan ahead, have a strategy. So we're going to identify your target audience. Are they located in McLean County or are we talking to people who are in LA? Because I'm going to be talking different to either audience, right? It's not the same as if I'm, right, or even Chicago. It's different. We're in McLean County. We all have the same struggles right here. We can all laugh about some of the stuff that's happening in the city. We can cry about it. We're here. We're not in, you know, Australia. Age-wise, is your target audience, you know, teenagers, or are they 24? Are they 64? Right? Because if I'm talking to a demographic that's 24, if I'm focusing on, if I want to get those college students when they come in town, well, my content is going to look a little bit different than if I'm talking to a 64-year-old. Yes, and of course you're going to have a window. But you want to know that. You want to know who you're talking to. Gender, male or female. I've got a lot of real estate agents who, shockingly enough, have an overwhelming like 60, 40, 80, 20 following of women. So as I am marketing for them, I can get away with feminine colors. I can get away with content that is more, let's talk about home decor versus like a maintenance. Hey, did you know you could do this maintenance wise around the house? Yes, I'm going to talk, I could talk about it all, but that helps to hone in what I am going to be creating as content wise. What times a day are they online? Do you have night owls, right? So when you look at sort of all these questions together, you can sort of create an image of, well, I have my target is a woman. You can build the profile of an individual. So sometimes this helps people to just look at that as an individual person. I have a woman who is in her 50s. She lives in McLean County. And she is online most of the time in the evening because after she's fed everybody in the house, she's sitting down and relaxing. And that's when she goes through her Pinterest and Facebook, right? So strategic content is going to educate, entertain, and create engagement, right? These are what your post should do, not all at the same time. That's too much. That's too many messages at one time. You're going to educate, entertain, and engage. So, like I said, going back to my woman in her 50s who lives in McLean County, who is on in the evening time, I am trying to educate her, entertain her, and get a conversation going with her. Okay. So we look at content pillars. Right? We look at content pillars that educate, entertain, and engage. I need to, on social media, look at how I can continue to build my brand awareness just because I want to capture those leads that may know about me or have heard about me, but I'm getting in front of, right? My mom may have mentioned or a friend may have mentioned, and now I'm seeing a post float by, not really committed to them yet, right? What we want to show them, here's some examples of what we want to show that focus group, right? This group right here is what it makes you an industry expert. Okay, what makes you an industry expert? It can be something as simple as I've been doing this for 40 years. It's a family-owned business, right? I've been in it for the long game. What makes you an industry expert? I'm brand new at it, but I've got a ton of passion, right? I love it. You can't find anyone as excited about me about it. Doesn't matter, two totally ends of the spectrum and everything in between. What lights your fire? What makes you the industry expert on this? And there is something, challenge me to find the thing that's not about you, right? There is something. You want to show them that without, you want to tell but not sell on that idea, right? Tell but not sell. So an example could be like, let's say you have been doing it for 40 years, like showing this pile of paperwork that's been sitting in the corner office for like 100 years and confessing with a behind the scenes picture that you're not really sure if it's been around since like, grandma was in business. I don't know, right? Something along those lines. It's going to make me laugh. It's going to entertain me. I can relate to that, right? It strikes the emotional core with me. So next is, what values do we represent as a business? That can sometimes be a little bit harder, but when you look at your employees, right? I feel like this is a great way to, because you think as a business owner, like what values we represent. But when you look at your employees, for example, or other people that you do business with, that to me makes it a lot easier to identify those. What do other people see me as? Like, what do I really want to represent? And then exhibit that in your post as well. We care about our customers. Show me an event that you're doing that, right? Show me those posts. Like you had you're a doctor's office and you guys had a health fair. That's a great way to show me that you guys care about the community. So then we move on where we've got their attention, and now this category of we're wanting to convert them to be from a lead to a customer or client or what have you. What experience do we want our clients to have when they're with us, right? What is that experience? If you're a restaurant, we talk about like the ambiance, right? This is such an easy example. Because you go into some restaurants or bars or what have you, and there's totally different. It's on such a spectrum. And again, you can get those professional photographs or really capture some candid moments of your employees hustling in the kitchen. Or if it's a more casual atmosphere, that your employees get along, that you have cohesion in your team, and that it spills over because your customers enjoy that. And that's what makes you guys great. So what experience do we want our clients to have? How does that apply to your industry, right? Or to your business? And how does that, again, going back to how is that another thing that makes you different than the rest? How do we build loyalty once we have them? Loyalty equals repeat business, right? And a lot of people, you would be so surprised, leave that money on the table. Once they're done with that client interaction, I'm getting on my soapbox again, Mitch, you can tell. Like once they have that interaction and they've made that transaction, they leave it there. That's done, right? I don't know. The fortune is in the follow-up. I don't care what industry it's in. I don't care if you run a shop with gifts and you're, yay, thanks for buying a, notebook from my gift shop, right? No, it doesn't end there. Make me want to come back. How do we keep them coming back? How do we build loyalty with them once we have them? How am I going to show that loyalty is important to me as a business owner? Gratitude, attitude of gratitude. You don't have to have, a mega event or giveaway stuff in order to have an attitude of gratitude. Just the occasional, hey man, like we had a successful weekend, and we are going to acknowledge that and say, thanks for coming out to see us. I don't know, maybe it's the weather that drove people out, but we just want to say thank you for stopping in our shop, our restaurant, mine. You chose me. And business owners forget about that and acknowledging it. As a client, if someone said that to, if I was a customer at a business and someone said that to me, I would be like, hey, I'm coming back, because they know they appreciate the full circle of our relationship. It would make me feel special. So I have some examples, mainly because these are actually industries that my family is in. And I have a younger brother who is an executive chef. I have a dad who ran a podiatry practice for 30 years, and I'm in real estate. So that's sort of why I've been using these examples, because I preach to them. I do. And that when I was a kid growing up, right, in the 80s, that if the house phone rang because someone was trying to get a hold of the doctor, we were trained to answer the phone a certain way, right? And in a medical practice, people don't think about how we're going to market ourselves because there's a need for it. My feet hurt. I have to see a podiatrist. It's necessary. That's not always true, especially in the time of, the pandemic, right? How is a foot doctor going to take advantage of the pandemic? And I don't want to say take advantage of, because it is a pandemic. It's a terrible thing, but let's springboard on a couple of things. Are you taking care of yourself right now? Every single health professional can talk about, are we taking care of ourselves? Are you, walking around the block, getting your exercise? What's your plan? Are you stretching? A podiatry practice can also talk about seasonal stuff. Hey, everyone, I know you're wearing flip-flops right now. Stop doing it, right? That's not support for your feet. Call me out on it. Hey, you're going to be, wearing your winter boots. You better make sure that it has proper support. Here's what we recommend. Are you stretching to not get those shin splints? That education is vital. There's so much debate right now over, well, it's gonna sound really bad. Well, the CDC and the health department and blah, 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 blah. There's opinions everywhere. But you know what people are gonna believe first? Their own doctor. Their own doctor. So it drives me nuts that I don't see this information and recommendations from, physicians, those experts that are out there. And there is, Mitch is looking at me like, there is a fine line as to what you can and can't say. I understand that, but having someone like me on your team to help navigate that would be critical. And imagine the return on that, right? So any questions? I know I used modern fine dining. I have spoke about restaurants and things. Any questions?
Yeah, I would just ask on, I think the slide prior, building loyalty, getting follow-up business after you've had that customer in. I think it's commonplace, kind of expected to have a like us on Facebook, Twitter, social sign somewhere in the office. What is a good way to build loyalty that way? What do you ask of someone who's had a good experience? Is it leave a review, post a picture, let other people know in your network? What are we asking for to do that?
And there is a lot that's overdone. I feel like when I get a receipt shoved at me and they're saying, hey, go give us a recommendation, like, I haven't known you long enough, right? Sometimes that's just it. Like, I haven't known you long enough. But I've been reflecting on this last couple of days for my own clients as well, is what if we had on our employees' tongues to just say, hey, check us out on Facebook because we do updates regularly, right? Making it a conversation instead of a demand, instead of an ask or a demand. We are creating a conversation to say, hey, like, we've got this new product coming out, whether you're interested or not, it's similar to what you've just purchased. We've got a new service that's coming out. It's coming down the pipeline. You may want to check us out on Facebook. Sometimes we do drawings and things, as a business. You may want to follow us there, right? Because there is no guarantee that they will follow you, right? There is never a guarantee. So attitude of gratitude. I can only politely have a conversation with them about it instead of demanding it to them. I know, but days get busy. People have bad days. It's not always going to be like that. But having that conversation with your employees and utilizing their spheres as well, that you want to talk about return on investment, having that conversation to say, hey, do you guys remember this? However best represents your business, to be able to ask them, right? And it's really hard for me to be so vague right now because there are so many industries, but having it on the tips of their tongues. And that to me, right? And then here's the double twist, but I would say is, I actually didn't put this in any post, but featuring, I talked about photographs, right? And featuring the authenticity and candid pictures, featuring your employees in those pictures, right? That is a huge win. Here's why. My daughter, who's a teenager, right? It works there. Oh my God, they featured her. Like, I have a 2-year-old right now. When they send me daycare pictures, I am so proud of my kid. Or like if she pops up on their Facebook page or whatever, come on. I know that is not going to change. I'm going to support the business who values my person who works there, right? So, and then if I'm a consumer and I see that person who asked me to join, to follow on Facebook in a freaking picture, yeah, I'm all over it. She was really friendly to talk to. She didn't demand anything of me. She acknowledged, that I like this, that, or the other. And she invited me to, follow. Yeah, okay. It all comes together that way. So that's how I would do that.
Also, so fair to say then, less of an ask nowadays, like us on Facebook, subscribe, more of an invitation to start a conversation or a dialogue. And it's hard,
and it's hard. Like, imagine, be creative about it. That's the challenge right now, because we're all doing, like, follow. We're all doing that ask. I'm doing it too. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but if you want to separate yourself from the rest on social media, find a way to make it a conversation. And that will the best thing about marketing online is the biggest challenge is making you look individual amongst the rest, showing personality, showing what your value is. Find a creative way to ask politely. Yeah, make it a conversation. And that is key. For sure. You're welcome for that, Mitch.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Okay. So we talked about I stole this from the Full Science, or no, from Net 101. Look at, I don't even know my own notes right here. I'm so glad. Why? Okay, so no, this image is from Net 101. But there truly is a science behind all of this. There truly is. People are getting college degrees now on social media marketing, is how important this is. And this is more of the science behind it. Okay, so we talked about the content pillars. How do I do that? How do I achieve that? Take a screenshot of, why is this not updated? Okay, great, here we go. So this is the image that I stole. Take a screenshot of this. This is really great information. So there's my content pillars. You can see they're using cafe as an example. I'm pointing as though you're going to see my screen right now. But we're talking, so then you talk about the pillar angles. They're looking at it from a different direction. How are different ways that I can, talk about this business and features, overviews, a deep dive, history, DIY, resources, research. Be the research and resource for your industry. Educate me. Teach me exactly what a title company does, right? Examples and opinions. How can I use that? Different formats, videos, images, a text. Here, look at all those different video options or the image options to tell your story. Right? We don't think about that, but instead of just taking a picture and posting it, use the strategy, create that variety, and you're going to be able to learn more from analytics. And I've got the data coming up here. Use your headings are important, your captions are important. There are actually apps and programs out there that will tell you if your heading, your caption is going to be like good or not. It'll give you a thumbs up or the thumbs down, and it will give you a score as to how your heading reads. Hashtags, calls to action, so on and so. I mean, you can read that. So this is the full science that goes behind it. And I hope today I'm kind of watering it down a little bit and helping to apply to you. But where's my mouse at? Ooh, here. So optimizing your ROI, data-driven results. It's all about the money. So these are screenshots that I took from a client of mine, real estate agent. This is the data that Facebook will give you about your audience. Okay. 75% of her audience is in Springfield, Illinois. Her target audience, little did she know, was the age range is 35% was between 45 and 54. And actually, when you look at the different age brackets, it went down to like 35. It's divided, basically 33%. The other were like 10 years before that and 10 years after that. That's it right there. And they're female. 70% are female. Holy cow. Who's making the decisions and buying houses with this real estate agent? The women are, right? And it's the women who have, let's see, what happens in a person's life around 45 to 54. They're almost becoming empty nesters, right? They've got a little money on the side. They've got what else happening at that age? Like they're maybe looking to downsize. They're looking to maybe go on vacation. They're looking to enjoy the quiet life, maybe go out a little bit more often, gather with friends because they have that free time and less responsibility. What is happening in the demographic age? You can easily look back on your life or identify that with other people in your life. What are they about right now? And then you can see the other regions that she's popular in. Who knew we were popular in Lexington, Kentucky with her? right? So these are analytics that are going to help drive your content, right? Who am I talking to? What is my story going to be? Here's who you're talking to. So for the beginning of this month, I had done 30 posts for her. Out of those 30 posts, we had 10 shares, 64 likes, 54 total, or 53 total likes, 5 comments, and impressions versus followers. So let's break this down because we're going to talk about money next. We all thought that followers were a key indicator on how we're doing on social media, right? We all thought that that's the case. And if you're, maybe a major influencer, that's still maybe a big deal. But impressions is actually way more significant. The reason is, how many of us, guilty, scroll through, we see a post that we like, but we don't like it. I don't share it. I like it. It's been in front of me. I'm seeing it, right? I see a business advertised, but I don't necessarily do anything. Facebook is saying impressions is the number of people that have actually scrolled past this and have seen it, right? So because they may be like, my audience may be a little bit lazy and they've not gone so far as to click the like button, that's okay, because I still got in front of over 2,400 people at the beginning of this month in 2 weeks alone. That's not bad. And that's with organic growth, nothing paid, right? We're just creating focused content for women that are of this age, we're educating, we're entertaining, we're educating, entertaining, creating that engagement, right? So how does this break down to return on investment and how can I track it? So the marketing spend for that amount of time was $210, like on my services, let's say, right? Or whatever. Yeah, that was it. That's how I calculate it for clients. Is if it's just organic growth, I factor in like my fees into it. Okay, that's what you're paying. I'm your investment. So cost per engagement, cost to actually get someone to click on something is $1.41. But the cost per exposure is only 8 cents, 8 to 9 cents. Where can you get that exposure at this low of cost? Maybe Postcard? No, because Postcard, you still got to pay for stamps, right? So not even that low. I'm trying to think. But my cost per follower is $12 freaking. That's not good. So what, as social media manager, what do I see on here? What does this read? What does this tell me about my strategy? Well, maybe I need to have that conversation and politely ask or find a different way to have the conversation about following, right? I'm not portraying that message very clearly. Maybe it's something I've not been focused on because we've been listing houses left and right, and I just sort of let that slip. Or is it because I've been demanding as a call to action, like this page, and it's getting a little, kind of yucky sounding. So to calculate this, you're going to take your marketing spend and just divide it out with like the number of impressions, and that's your cost of exposure. Engagement, you're going to add up your clicks, your shares, your likes, your comments, and divide it into that. And then your followers are just going to be the number of the increase that you've had. So we did have, a little bit of an increase, but not anywhere near and needed to be. So when you go to talk about your time, if you're doing this, let's talk about money. If your marketing spend, you're doing it or you're not paying for any ads, right? You're not paying for any ads. You're investing your own time. You put your hourly is not a word, your hourly rate there. How many hours are you spending on this? What is your hourly rate? If your hourly rate is more expensive than me, that's not smart business, right? Because you could go be running your business, doing what you do best, being the face of your business, and I could be hunkered in at home in yoga pants doing this for you for a heck of a lot cheaper than what you're trying to spend your own time doing it, right? So that's where I, look at it and help other small business owners make that decision is it easier for you to go out and sell 5 more units in order to cover my cost per month versus you having to sit here and learn all this and then execute it when it is just second nature to me, right? And then, what is that actually important for your business? What are you trying to spend? Is it easier for you to just say, hey, we've got this going on this month, right? And we want to talk about this, or Anna, like, what are you doing that's not even funny, right? On your, on our social media, like, no, and being able to leverage that service out and see more return for it, right? When I'm here saying, oop, Anna, you messed this up. And I have that way to check myself. So what other questions on return on investment do you think? What else? What do we got here?
I would just ask Anna if I'm on the other side of this and I've watched your presentation here and I'm convinced. I know it's important. I know I need to have a presence and I want to be engaged, but I'm a solopreneur and I just really don't have the time, or the way the market is right now, I don't have the employees or can't waste employee time on it. What resource can I reach out to maybe get some help managing my business's social?
I mean, me, hello, call me. I am, as much as I am wanting to, I feel, it was really hard, and it was been my joke for weeks about like, how difficult do I make this sound exactly in this presentation? And I'm trying not to make it sound too difficult, right? It is manageable and you can use this strategy, and I'm trying to give you the right questions and everything. And obviously I'm not the type of person who's going to be like, oh, let me charge you. I do free consultations, right? Tell me what your issues are. I don't care. Bring me your phone and say, like, I don't know how to do this. Look, here's the problem. If you don't know how to create a Facebook business page, and I see you creating multiple personal profiles for your business, and you're up there junking up the internet and the world's seeing it, don't come to me. Don't. If you don't know how to do it, come to me, because I'm going to save yourself, right? And to me, that's more important. I got my MBA, and the one thing that I walked away with that experience is I grew up in a small business. I wish small businesses had this knowledge. I've told Brooke this the minute that I joined. Like, I wish small businesses had this. So come to me and I will help you. That doesn't mean you have to pay me for anything, right? I'm here to answer questions, because when you do start growing and it does start working, I know who you're going to come to, right? I know who you're going to remember. So, because that's just how it works. That's marketing. That's how it works. That's relationships. Let's build that and see how we can help each other even. So that's what I say to that, Mitch.
Anna, I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you see the impressions? Was that just from a Facebook post and you can look at those analytics then on Facebook, or do you have a special software that you use to?
All of the above. Yes, I do have, like, because you can tell if you have a business page, you can tell I didn't take this from that, but it is there. It is under your Facebook business page insights.
Gotcha.
You want to use Business Suite. It's not called Business Suite, is an app that Facebook has for business pages. So if you find, here's the other thing that's wrong with small business owners. Who's guilty of this? I go to do my marketing on Facebook, but I get distracted by Facebook. Okay. If this is your problem, there are apps out there like Facebook Business Suite, or you can go to the desktop version of it so that you're not dealing with the feed. You're just there creating the content. You're focusing on your analytics. You're not getting distracted. You would be surprised at how quickly you're able to get this done without any distractions like that.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
It can be so quick and so efficient if you make that a priority. And time management is something that I really do focus on with business owners too when I'm doing coaching or consulting. Is I will call you out on it. Like, I will call you out on your nonsense. Like, show me your phone. I'm going to show you exactly where the iPhone is telling me that you're spending a ton of time doing nothing on Facebook, right? So let's make money instead. If you're going to be on Facebook, make money. That's what I've always said. be making money. I digress. Did that cover it?
Yes, thank you.
Let's talk about negative reviews and other naughty social media behavior, because I've got like 4 minutes left. Handling negative reviews. This is just some generalizations. I'm going to throw out some advice. Look, realize and accept if you receive a negative review, you have emotionally got to accept that you've lost that customer. That's fine, right? That's fine. You've lost them. It wasn't a great exchange. Maybe we were not doing our best that day. You know, I know that your employees are loyal to your business and that they try to do their best to represent your values. I will also defend, you know, my employees or my business's actions. Like, I immediately will get defensive, but I also know that they're human. They have bad days too. Maybe it wasn't maybe it wasn't our best, right? So what is that fine line? And how do I sort of acknowledge that? And so here are some do's and do nots. Yes, you need to respond. Okay, you have to acknowledge it. Be professional, right? This is not about this is not about trying to right the wrong, trying to right the opinion of the person who, I don't know why there's such lag in that. It's bugging me. I don't know why, so it's not about righting the wrong with that interaction. It's about your response is telling future customers how you handle a negative interaction. This is what we do, right? This is a standard like policy that we have when we receive a negative review. Okay. Take it seriously. I'm a firm believer where there's smoke, there's fire. Okay. Do you need to look at your systems? Like, you thought that we thought we were doing really good at this. We thought as a business, we had this, you know, under control, or I thought that I was doing really good following up on things, or, you know, something slipped off my plate. Right. And I'm getting that feedback. That's okay. That's okay. That's how we improve ourselves. But take it as a learning experience. If you find yourself sort of getting emotional over this, if all else fails, let someone else handle it. Okay. It's not bad to say that. If someone else is seeming to have a little like more rational, okay, in the moment, and you're ready to, like, you know, jump, go crazy over it, let someone else handle it. It's okay. I'm talking an employee, someone else, a manager who you may trust, or just like take a minute with it. Okay. Or if you're a solopreneur, a spouse, right? Like bounce it off of your best friend or something. How do I handle this? Like, how do I not sound like a lunatic and defensiveness? Okay. And think before you reply. Don't just sit down and start drafting your, you know, trigger happy response to it. Think about it. What is your strategy here? How are you going to appear? Do not try to convince them to try again. You've already lost them. It's okay. This is just about the next customer. Leave your emotional reaction out of it. This is going to look like anger or defensiveness, right? Again, I will also defend my people on their worst days. I did in healthcare. I did, you know, I still will, because I'm loyal to people who are loyal to me. But you're the professional here. You're representing your business. Do not delete a negative review. And actually, I think Facebook and Google will not let you delete them. There's a whole process you have to go through. What you can do is try and bury it. You can sort of have a campaign where you do encourage, like we talked about earlier, people to write reviews. And if it is something that, like, you're really striving for those 5-star reviews, and then you get the 1 and it takes you down like to that 4.8, right? How many are you going to need to bump back up again? And just find that encouragement and let that positivity be your focus, right? Do not create a thread of comments. If this person is wanting to continually fight back and forth with you, if your response is not good enough, don't take the bait. Don't take the bait, right? Also, don't dirty delete comments that you yourself wrote that you're now regretting. Oh, shoot, I posted this. Oh, I sounded a little snarky in it, sounded a little defensive. Let me just delete it. This is the day and age of screenshots. People are going to keep that. They're going to take a screenshot of what you posted before you deleted it, and they're going to tell the world, right? And it's going to be an issue too. So think about before you reply, make sure it's actually what you want to say, leaving all that anger and defensiveness out. And then try and go forward. And if all else fails, I do not care what time of day it is, please call me, right? If you feel like you're not quite sure about the wording, I do copywriting. I write for a living, right? I create content for a living. Call me. I'll do a post for you. I'll take care of it. I'll tell you what to say. Anna, jump on my page real quick. Tell me what to say about this. I got you, right? Call in a resource. I know I'm a little over time. Please hang with me. This is my very almost last slide. Other naughty behavior that will kill your brand. Remember, customer acquisition is hard enough. Do not destroy your own efforts. Here are things that will destroy your efforts. Using bad grammar. Don't do it. Use spell check. There's an app, a program. It's called Grammarly, and it will fix your grammar and your spelling mistakes. It'll pop up in your cell phone as you're typing out a text. It sits on top of your web browser and will correct all of your spelling and grammar errors, and will make you look at, educated all the time. Like you took the time to capitalize everything when you didn't, when you were typing it out and you didn't. Use that, please. There's a free version. Don't use sloppy images, right? Consider when you're taking a picture, are you stealing something from Google and it's distorted and we all know it? Are you, I don't know, are you using good lighting? Is it really on target? Is it take a free photography class if you really want to, do this on your own. And yes, time and money and all of that, but don't use sloppy images. Don't engage in arguments with your business page. This is why we keep our profile pages separate than our business pages. We are so polarized right now. You will offend 50% of your audience if you express any opinion about anything, right? That's just it right now. And it's hard enough to try and get them in this in this market to get anybody to walk in the door as it is sometimes. So don't engage in arguments. Don't use your own business page to write negative reviews for other businesses. What are you doing? Right? Or negative comments or what have you. Make sure you're under your profile when you're needing to express your opinions like that. And I even say, look, it is not, if you are a business owner, don't even use your personal profile for that stuff. Don't do it. People are going to see that this is how you conduct yourself personally. When you're sharing a post that is politically motivated and you agree with it, maybe 25%, but you're just someone who has to share everything, right? You're just click and share, click and share. But now everybody believes that this is your Bible truth and you believe in it. That's not good for you or your business, because your sphere, your immediate friends and family, who are supposed to be your number one supporters, are now polarized. And they now have an opinion of you that's probably not actually completely true. Using your business page to express extreme opinions. This is very hard for me to write, okay? So I understand you may have a religious belief, okay? We are in McLean County, Illinois, right? We're here. We are where we are. What's our demographic? But expressing extreme opinions with your business is too polarizing. Don't take a stance, right? Don't be cool, right? Be cool about it. Politics, that's not your business, does not need to represent politics. You're going to lose 50% either way, right? COVID. Are you suddenly an expert on COVID with your business? No, but you have policies. You can talk about those. what customers or clients can expect when they engage, your business or what have you. That's it, right? That's it. LGBTQ. Do not have those opinions on social media with your personal profile, with your business profile. It'll get you into trouble, right? Support it. Yes. I mean, see, this is really hard to say. This is why I said extreme opinions. If you support it because we love and support everybody, okay, watch your approach, right? That's great. If you're open to everybody and everything and all politics and COVID and race, religion, everything, that show that, right? That's okay. I'm trying not to paint myself in any corners here. Race and religion, all of those things are the most polarizing right now, right? You're seeing people share it on social media. Watch what you say about it with your personal profile too. People are watching. People are going to make opinions on you, and you only get one shot, right? You only get one shot. So that's what I have to say. Any questions on that? Did I say it okay?
Yeah, no questions. I think so. Makes sense.
All right. So I feel like sometimes if someone doesn't say it, like we're all thinking as someone needs to say it, and I'll be the guy to say it. I may not say it great, but you'll know what I mean. So any questions? Take a screenshot of this. Feel free to reach out to me. There's my phone number. There's my email. You can reach me on Facebook too, or Instagram message, what have you. I'm here with any. See, it did not update. Look at this. Hold on.
I think it's just lagging for some reason. There we go.
There you go. Take a screenshot of that. Let me know if you have any feedback, any questions or comments. I'm here to help. Bam.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Anna. A lot of great information there. For me, somebody who's now getting more and more into social with the chamber here, a lot of stuff I didn't know. Thank you for giving us that resource to get in touch with you there at Now Napora Park. Again, congratulations on the rebranding there.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you can't find her through these resources, anybody just searching for marketing on our member directory, you'll find Napora Park and Anna Johnson listed there as well. Again, we want to appreciate you taking your time to give us this info
Anytime.
today.
I'll come back anytime you want me.
I think we'll need you next year maybe to come back on Facebook Analytics if you'd be interested, or return on investment for people who are short on time or don't have the time to get engaged. But for now, I think you'd be the best resource to put them through to in that way. Just one more time, I want to recognize our September VRL sponsor, Carl Broman Medical Center. Make sure you do check out our video resource library. Again, it's at www.mcleanCochamber.org. We have more content on marketing and social media like this, running your business, dealing with employees, and much more. If you'd like to present a member ed or have a topic you want to suggest, shoot me an email. That'd be at mitch@mcleancochamber.org, mitch@mcleancochamber.org. And that will conclude our member ed session on social media marketing. Thanks again, Anna, for sharing with us today. Appreciate it.
For having me.
All of us who joined us on Zoom and Facebook. Hope you have a great upcoming weekend.